Hi there, boys and girls, and welcome back to Conquering Math, where it all adds up. Today we will be learning about the least common multiple. Let's dive on in. By the end of today's lesson, you will be able to find the least common multiple of a set of whole numbers by using the list of multiples method and the prime factorization method. The Common Core State Standard today is 6NS4. Before we start talking about the least common multiple, we need to discuss common multiples. A common multiple is a multiple that is shared by two or more numbers. For example, 6, 12, and 18 are common multiples of 2 and 3. Please be aware that there are infinite common multiples of any set of numbers. You could keep going on and on forever and ever. Now let's talk about the least common multiple. The least common multiple, or LCM, is the least, or smallest number, of the common multiples of a set of numbers. For example, 6 is the least common multiple of 2 and 3, because it is the smallest of the common multiples. Example number 1. Find the least common multiple of 6 and 8. This time we will use the list of multiples method. So we need to start by creating a list of multiples for 6 and a list of multiples for 8. Important. There are an infinite number of common multiples, so pick a reasonable number to start, usually between 5 and 10 multiples for each whole number. So for the number 6, we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. And for 8, we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, and 48. Next, we can underline the common multiples. 24 and 48 are common multiples of 6 and 8. Now we want to know the least common multiple, so we have to pick the least of these options. In this case, it is 24, which is the least common multiple of 6 and 8. Example number 2. Find the least common multiple of 12 and 18. This time we will be using the prime factorization method. So we need to start by finding the prime factorization of each number. The factor tree for 12 looks like this, and we find that the prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 3. The factor tree for 18 looks like this, and we find that the prime factorization is 2 times 3 times 3. Our next step is to look at each of the prime factors individually and identify where it occurs the most frequently. Then we will circle or box that prime factor. So if we start with 2, we see that it occurs twice in the prime factorization for 12, but only once in the prime factorization for 18. So we will box the two 2's in the prime factorization for 12. Now let's take a look at 3. 3 occurs once in the prime factorization for 12, but twice in the prime factorization for 18. So we will box the two 3's in the prime factorization for 18. These numbers that we have boxed are the prime factorization of the least common multiple. We need to multiply these factors to find the least common multiple. So we'll find the LCM by multiplying 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, which gives us 36. Example number 3. Find the least common multiple of 4, 10, and 20. Either method will work. This time I have chosen the prime factorization method. First we'll find the prime factorization of 4, which is 2 times 2. Then the prime factorization of 10, which is 2 times 5. And the prime factorization of 20, which is 2 times 2 times 5. Next, we look at each prime factor and identify where it occurs the most often. 2 occurs twice in the number 4 and in the prime factorization for 20. We should only box it in one spot. So we'll box 2 times 2 in the prime factorization for 4. Next, we look at the number 5, which occurs once in the prime factorization for 10 and once in the prime factorization for 20. Again, if there's a tie, we should only box it in one spot. So this time I chose to box it in the prime factorization for 10. These numbers inside of the box give us the prime factorization for our least common multiple. So 2 times 2 times 5 equals 20, which is the least common multiple of 4, 10, and 20. Example number 4. You run around the school gymnasium in 20 seconds. Your friend runs around the gym in 30 seconds. If you both start at the same time, how many seconds will it take you until you are both at the starting line at the same time again? Either method of finding the least common multiple will work, so this time I have chosen to use the list of multiples method. We'll start by writing down the first few multiples of 20. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 120. Then the first few multiples of 30. 30, 60, 90, 120. Next, we will underline some common multiples that we found. In this case, 60 and 120. Let's take a look for the least common multiple, which in this case is 60, so we'll circle it. So the least common multiple of 60. You and your friend will be back together at the starting line after 60 seconds. Today you learned to find the least common multiple of a set of whole numbers by using the list of multiples method and the prime factorization method. The Common Core State Standard today was 6NS4. Now that you are familiar with these techniques, complete the independent practice problems in your guided notes packet. Then watch the independent practice solutions video to check your work. Thanks for watching this episode of Conquering Math, where it all adds up. I'll see you next time.